All right, so this is not going to be good. All right, I can already tell. So quite a few people sent this to me. I also saw people talking about this in the comments, and apparently Olden Polynice has something to say about Wembanyama, and it's highly, and from the title, highly disrespectful.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so before we dive into what this man had to say, there's a few things we have to go over, okay? Number one, Clan the Merch Fan. So if you guys want to support the channel, link in the description. By the way, I have free shipping on orders that's 80 plus. You just use this promo code when you're checking out, but just letting you guys know about that. But if you want to support the channel, if you want to support me, it means the world to me, and I really truly do appreciate it. So link in the description, and there's many of shirts and different designs. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go over this. So before we can just straight up go through this video, because I have not watched this video at all. Okay, all I've seen is this title, and it says Wemby hopes to be better than Sean Bradley. I'm not buying the hype. Highly disrespectful. But with that being said, I also want to bring up some examples of Olden Polynice being a contrarian, okay? Because that's what he really is. He's disrespectful oftentimes. So this is him basically saying that if he was with the Bulls over Pippen, they would have won more championships. So let's go ahead and look at this clip. 8 years ago, by the way. I just realized that this was muted. Oh my God, I'm glad I caught it now, because that would have really sucked. That would have really sucked. You guys have no idea. All right, once again, sorry.
Could the trade, Scottie Pippen for you, be the worst trade in NBA history?
It's not the worst trade, because you can't say best or worst. Because if that's the case, when Kareem got traded, that was the worst trade. What people don't realize is we were never supposed to be traded. If I had played for Chicago,
Who knows what happened?
we would have won more titles. And I didn't have migraines, you know, early on in my career. I've never had migraine like Scottie was. So there were a couple years they really could have beaten Detroit, and they didn't.
How many more titles would Chicago have won if they had you, based on your theory that you just gave me? Because I agree with it.
I said at least 3 more. You know, the migraine year, the year when he didn't want to pass the coup coach. What else? There's a whole bunch. There's at least 3
So
that we would have won.
So Michael Jordan ends his career with 9
At
champions.
least 9. Yeah, he would have been knocking on Bill Russell's door. Just like Pippen said he's the greatest NBA player ever, even though that was a joke. Yeah, okay. I think he kind of thought that, though.
All right. So as you can see there, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, at this point, you win 6 championships. You can't just sit back and have this like revisionist, or not necessarily revisionist history, because it's not revisionist history, but just this whole idea of, well, if this were to happen, and what about that one year that this player did this? It's just so silly. It's just so silly. No, MJ wouldn't have had 3 more championships with Olden. Okay. Another thing that he had to say. This is actually him talking about Michael Jordan and saying that it was actually players that Michael Jordan was scared of, believe it or not. It's just barbershop talk, okay? So I just wanted to show those just so we don't get too angry at him talking about how Wemby is going to be the next Sean Bradley, okay? I just think that it's important to preface this video. So let's go ahead and go into it. And with that in mind, this is the type of individual we're listening to. So let's see what he has to say.
Just arguing about Victor Wembanyama. What are your thoughts? Is it just way too much hype in this kid? You know, what do you think about him? I know you haven't probably seen him play too much, but what are your thoughts about him?
We already know it's going to be a contrarian take, okay?
The funny part is I have. And so I've been watching him for the last couple of years. And, I mean, again, the NBA, one of the things that I love about the NBA is the fact that they know how to hype. They're the biggest hype machine there is. And so there's a lot of hype behind this. And to me, I'm not buying. I'm selling, because I've watched him play against the better players over in Europe, and they just completely dominate him.
They completely dominate him. Okay, that's funny, because I've also watched him play overseas, and I have not seen Wemby get dominated. I have not seen that at all. I've seen him get double teamed on many of occasions, and it got to the point where teams have really just came in and definitely had to change up the way that they do things offensively. Sorry, I'm like super distracted because my cat is like on my desk. But they have to adjust everything that they do offensively, all because Wemby's there. So I have no idea who he's talking about. I don't know who dominated Wemby. I watched him throughout the playoffs. I watched him in the championship series as well. I did not see a young player that get dominated. All right. I did not see that. I saw him being the main focus of those games. So
younger guys, they just dominate him. And so the division he's
just
playing
talking,
in, yes, it's a good division, but it's nothing compared to what the NBA is. And so, again, I've said this before. I've seen this movie before. I've seen Chet Holmgren. I've seen Bobo. I've seen Ralph Sampson.
Bobo?
I've seen these guys.
To even compare the amount of hype that Wemby's gotten to Bobo and Chet, and to even compare those players is absolutely insane.
I've seen these guys that, oh my God, they're over 7 feet. They can handle.
I should have put a caption on. God, I am off today.
The ball like a guard. They can. I've seen this already.
So what's he gonna be? I mean, okay, he's not gonna be the GOAT. What's he gonna be in your group? You know, roughly, you think?
He hopes to be better than Sean Bradley, in my opinion. I'm serious.
Yeah.
He hopes to be better than.
So disrespectful. For a little context, guys, these were Sean Bradley's stats. He averaged 8 points a game throughout his career. The most points he ever scored in one single season was 14 points. He did have 2.5 blocks per season, which is good. That's a really good average. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing that stands out here. That's kind of it. But you know what's funny about that? It's still better than Polynice's. How would you say? Polynice's? Olden's. You just say Olden. It's still better than Olden's stats. So yeah, Sean Bradley was statistically better than Olden. So I just wanted to bring that up. Anyways.
Those guys, Sean Bradley. I mean, I'm not even putting them in Yao Ming category right now.
Wow.
No. Don't you wow this, Chris Broussard.
Wowing.
Go ahead and bark at Olden Polynice. NBA vet. My man pulled checks out this league. Was out here making it. He out there, a long-time vet in this league out here saying he could be better than Sean Bradley. Because when little Mario Weiss over here had the question.
We had Olden Polynice on the show to get his opinion. And he gets to share his opinion. I disagree, Olden. I think he's going to be nice. But we'll see. I'm shocked.
That's a terrible opinion.
You said Sean Bradley was
That's a contrarian opinion.
Martin ain't even going that low.
Hold up. No, listen. And it wasn't like a disrespect. Sean Bradley lasted a while. I'm just saying about guys that people are talking about.
Really? Oh, he could be Sean Bradley, but that's not disrespectful. He lasted a very long time in the league. Really? That backwards compliment. That's bull. That's so silly. That's so silly.
They're over 7'5", and just, shot blockers. He's going to try and do all the stuff that he was doing overseas. It's going to be very difficult for him to do in the NBA because you got to remember a couple of things. One, the style of play that Spurs run. Popovich is going to put him in the right situation. I know that.
Right.
But instinctively, he's going to want to bring the ball up. Pop is not going to let a 7'5" guy bring the ball up.
Yeah, he would actually. If Pop would do that, he would allow that if that was the case. Also, he's going to do whatever the Spurs system wants him to. It's not just instinctively he's going to want to do this, that, or the other. That's not necessarily true. Also, I'm starting not to buy that he actually watched the games overseas, and to even compare to say, oh, he's really going to struggle in the NBA. Like, the NBA is made for Wemby. Like, it's absolutely made for Wemby. When we watched him go against the G League team, when he came over to Las Vegas, he absolutely annihilated them. He looked way more impressive than he did overseas because the game overseas is just so much different. The rules are different, you know, as far as how you can defend the paint, how much room guys have. You don't have a lot of room to operate. And when he played in that second summer league games, particularly, even the first game, really, he got some open shots. He looked very smooth out there. He's going to fit right in with the current NBA. I have no idea what he's talking about. And Popovich, this just shows that a lot of people just don't know Pop. Like, they don't pay attention to Spurs basketball. I guarantee you, okay, Pop is not as militant as people say he is. He is not. He has adjusted so many times throughout his career, and he is he's still a tough coach, but he is a much different coach than he was, say, 2003, 2005. Like, people thinking back so long ago, and that's an old Pop. It is not the same. Pop has been significantly different since the 90s until now. And he will allow anybody to bring the ball up the court if it benefits the team. He's also a numbers guy, so he cares about these things. And he had Jeremy Sohan, a 6'9" guy, and I'm pretty sure if they asked Olden, well, do you think that he would allow a big power forward to bring the ball down the court? He'll say, no, of course not. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Absolutely asinine, ridiculous, stupid, dumb. Not saying he's dumb particularly. I'm just saying that's a dumb opinion. But yeah, look, we're only 2 minutes and 45 seconds in. We gotta keep going.
I don't care what anybody's saying right now. It's the, you know, that marriage, you know, the honeymoon. We're all in the honeymoon phase. Okay? He hasn't had a 2-week road trip. He hasn't done any of this stuff, so he doesn't know what to expect.
No player has had that coming into the NBA.
Yeah, that's so silly. It's just, so you're projecting he will be trash because he hasn't played in the NBA? What are we saying here? What?
What's that?
No players had that coming into the NBA. The competition he's faced in France is better than the college level at this point in time.
Yes.
I don't believe so, but
and
okay.
you saw he dropped 37 and on the G League in 2 games, over 2 games.
I said it.
Like,
that's,
you know, average 37.
That's the G League. You know, the G League is is one slot above high school.
Everybody's
Did he just say the G League is one slot above high school? Is he serious? Is he serious? Does he know how tough the G League actually is? What does he think the G League is? What is he talking about?
Raving about Scoot Henderson for averaging 60.
You can actually make genuine arguments for the G League being tougher than college. I don't know if I'll necessarily go that far, but it's there. It's there. The G League has professional players in it. It is tough. And at this point now we have lottery picks coming out of the G League. Like, what is he talking about?
15 points in the G League on 43% shooting.
Again, hype. We're doing too much for so little. That's my whole thing. That's the only thing.
Right.
So let's disregard everything
I got
else
some
I said.
skeptics.
We're just doing a lot for a little.
All right, Olden, let me ask you this. Olden Polynice, former NBA bet, Fox Sports Radio, NBA analyst here on The Odd Couple. Let me ask you, so me and Chris were going back and forth with this, and I think one of the issues that Wembanyama will have in the NBA is something that is not necessarily unique to him or the tall people, but I'm not sure if his ball handling ability is going to be enough for him to create his own shot. When we see other players who are creating his own shot with consistency down the clutch, like when we talk about who are the best...
I don't think I'm here. I don't exist. I'm a figment of my own imagination. I'm not. I'm in the Matrix. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. What is he talking about? What, he won't be able to create his own shot. He's 7'5". What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Do people know what creating your own shot is? Creating your own shot doesn't necessarily mean you have a whole meter from you and the defender. Creating your own shot and creating space is how much space that you need. Like, you can watch Malachi Branham. He don't need much space, okay? You give him a little bit of space, that's open. Wembanyama, his release point is ridiculous. A player would have to be literally attempting to make a dunk because his release point is at the rim. You're gonna have to jump as far as you would if you were trying to dunk the ball. What do we mean create his own space? His handling isn't good enough to create his own space. What are we talking about? What? And dude, Chris Broussard, the fact that he is not, like, he better clap back.
players in the league. That's one of the things that I think differentiates them from kind of the everybody else's is their ability, late shot clock situations, late game situations, to break a guy down and get a good shot. Do you think he'll be able to do that 5-6 times a game coming into the NBA?
He's old.
No, I don't. And again, it goes because of the fact of how the NBA plays their style. You know, so you don't think teams are going to scout him and figure out certain things? They're going to run schemes at him?
You can't guard him! What are we talking about? Olden, you can't guard him. No, you can't. He's 7'5". What are we talking about? I'm losing my mind. You can scout Kevin Durant as much as you can. You can't stop him. You can scout Kobe as much as you can. You can't stop him. You can scout Tim Duncan. You can't stop. What are we talking about? This is the type of player we're talking about here. What are we saying? You think scouts aren't going to be able to figure him out? What does figure him out mean? Like hit him in his knees?
So he's going to have to figure all these things out. And again, he might be coming off, you know, the third game in 4 nights. We don't know. And so to me, one of the things also in watching him play overseas, a lot of the guys that he's shooting over, they were like 6'5", 6'6". And so to me, you know, now you're going to have taller guys, bigger guys, stronger guys that you're going to have to be able to maneuver around. And then there's a damn double team coming. So there's so many different components. Again, that's why I always like to wait and see instead of running my mouth and saying, you know, A, B, and C. I don't know. But I will say this. I've seen this, so that's why I'm not so high on all of this, because I've seen the tall guys coming in, you know, and thinking they were going to make a big difference, and they haven't.
You've already run your mouth, and you're not giving an A, B, or a C. You're giving an F.
Chris, please, just stop playing around, okay? You have 2 awful takes next to you right now. Can we push back, please?
You're giving my man an F.
I didn't give him any grade.
Or a D.
See, Olden, this is the problem with where we're at right now. If you say he's not going to come into the NBA and average 25 and 10, then all of a sudden...
No, oh my God. Oh my God. I hate... This is such a lie. I hate when people do this. He just blew it up. That is not what people are saying. Like, oh my gosh. What's the name? What's that called when you do that? Like a false equivalency? I don't know. That's not a false equivalent. I can't remember what it's called, but I hate when people do that, okay? No one is saying that, all right? If he doesn't average this and this, then he's no one's saying that. You're just, your argument is dumb. You're basically saying he's going to come into the league and he won't be able to create his own shot while being 7'5". And then Olden is saying he's going to be Sean Bradley. You both of you are just absolutely wrong. And I believe that you have not watched one game of Wemby.
Who's saying
you think he's going to be a bust?
Who's saying that?
I'm saying, Chris, if across the board, if you show any reservation that this guy may not be no,
that's not true. There's people that have came out and said, well, I think he needs to build a little bit of strength, you know, like for me personally, I think he needs to build strength, but not for the same reason that a lot of other people say. Like I do hear people say he needs to build strength, and because if he go against someone like Shaq, you know, oh my God, and it's like that's not the reality. He's going to be a power forward, probably not in those positions a lot, but I think he does need to build strength for rebounding. Like that's where, you know, I think that his biggest weakness is rebounding. But yeah, no one's saying all this. This is absolutely this is just lying.
A top 15 player of all time, people are like, oh, you sound crazy. But in reality, all I'm really asking to see is it happen a little bit, just a little bit. I would love to see it happen in a game.
Let me ask you guys a question. Name me, I won't even say 5. Name me 3 guys that came in at 18, 19 years old, okay, that dominated the NBA.
Well, I mean, LeBron, you can't say anybody dominated the NBA, but LeBron
that came in and averaged 20.
Yeah,
okay, let's say
LeBron came in, averaged 21.
20. Yeah,
just LeBron.
And then LeBron, that's it. Go ahead.
No.
Why are we entertaining the dude? Chris is really making me mad because he's the only one. I know I've seen him talk about Wemby. He's the only one with a decent take here, and he is not pushing back at all. You should not go down this road of logic, okay? He said he's going to be the next Sean Bradley. That's what he said. He better hope to at least be Sean Bradley. That's what he said. Now we're jumping to who comes into to the league as a rookie and averaged 20-some points. What are we talking about? We need to focus in on why you think he's going to be trash, not this nonsense of who comes in as a rookie and dominates. I mean, not many people do. Not many rookies come into the league and make the playoffs. It just doesn't happen. I don't think anybody has said that. I haven't seen many people say like Wemby's going to come in and be MVP or anything. I think I saw one take that said he'll be an all-star. I don't know if I believe that. But I do think he could be rookie of the year. But yeah, I don't know, just silly.
Oh, I mean, because, you know, it's only been a handful of guys. Moses Malone went to the ABA, played well, but, you know,
Tim Duncan.
There hasn't been a ton of guys. Only one straight from high school was LeBron.
Tim Duncan was like 22, I think.
But the two guys, I think the only two guys I could compare to this in terms of the hype was Kareem and LeBron. And both of them lived up to it.
Yes. Okay, and that's 2 out of 5,600.
No, you. Okay, let me be nice.
But nobody else has been hyped like this. There been guys that have been hyped, but not like this.
There's only been 2, and Kareem didn't come out. You know, like it wasn't. You know, listen. My point being.
Yeah, you weren't going anywhere with that. What Chris is basically saying is 100% of the time, when someone's been hyped to this degree, they lived up to it. That's what he's saying. 100% of the time, that's happened. I don't know why you want to bring up how many players there's been in the NBA. That they haven't been hyped like this. They haven't been as good. Some players are just one of a kind, okay?
Wembanyama, I wish him well. He's going to a great organization. You know, they're trying to say, well, because they had David Robinson, Tim Duncan. I get all that. Pop has not. Pop is Pop. You know, he can say all this stuff, but Pop is going to go back to what he knows best.
What's that?
You know, he's not going to change for something he's been doing for the last 20-plus years.
Pop is, God, dude, there's no pushback in this. This is the most frustrating conversation I've ever seen in my entire life. Popovich has adjusted over the past 20-plus years, Mr. Polynice. He has. The 1999 team was completely different than the 03 team. The 03 team, people think that it was just some, we think of the 2014 beautiful game. It wasn't like that, okay? It was literally give it to Duncan, get out the way. That was the system. And if Wemby dominates to that degree, it's going to be give it to Wemby, get out the way. Shoot, we don't even have to go that far back. If you go back to 2017, go back and watch the Spurs in 2017. Go watch them. The Spurs team in 2014 and the Spurs team in 2017, completely two different teams. Like, it is not the same. It is not the same whatsoever. Do they play the right way? Yeah, of course. You always got to play the right way. You got to have the fundamentals. But oftentimes it was give it to Kawhi and get out the way. That's what Pop is. Pop will do whatever it takes for the team to win and whatever it takes for his players to develop.
He's going to remain Pop. He's going to yell. He's going to scream just like he did with Tony Parker, just like he did with Duncan.
But they've been telling Wembanyama that. Yeah, all his mentors are from the Spurs.
So what does that mean?
D.L., Tony Parker.
Okay. And until you get yelled at,
okay,
you don't know what to expect.
You don't think
what until you get yelled at? This is the same guy that said that if he was this is the same dude that said that if he was with Michael, Mike would have won like 3 more rings if a trade never. Like this is the same guy that said that. All right, this is the same guy that said that. Yeah, I do not believe you're sitting here crying about like yelling, like, oh, wait until he gets yelled at. Dude would not have been able to survive with Michael Jordan. There's no way.
Think he's been yelled at over in France
during that championship run. He would not have been able to survive next to Jordan. I'm sorry.
No.
You know the coaches over in Europe are harder on the players than the college coaches.
That's why we have all this hype thing going on right now. I mean, I'm not buying the hype, okay?
And Chris, to the point.
I want him to show it to me.
I'm about to say, to the point, wasn't this whole Metropolitans 92 situation set up to promote him, to prepare him to get to the NBA? At least that's the reporting that I've seen, is this team scenario was set up for him to succeed, which, I mean.
Succeed, exactly.
Are we serious? He even went against his previous team and beat them in the playoffs. Are we serious right now?
was set up for him to be the man.
Right. So it's set up for him to be
used
the man.
to being the man.
He handled the ball. Everything was geared towards him. How are you not going to have a good year when you can take any shot you want whenever you want?
If you can't shoot, it's not like he shot 30% from the floor. He was the MVP of the league.
Chris, you know the other guys on the Spurs, they want to get their shots too, right?
Oh, my God. You don't know the Spurs, bro. Stop it.
They're getting lined. Them boys better know their role. All right?
Dude, exactly, Chris. Even in the summer league, bro. Like, if you pay attention, even in the summer league, like, people kind of got out the way. It was like Wemby and then got out the way.
Nobody paying to see Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sohan. They coming to see.
I'm coming to see Jeremy Sohan.
Big Vic. But I like it.
Everybody
has
an ego.
I think you and Martin Weiss had lunch today, and y'all said, we going to give it to Chris.
Hey,
Martin over there cheesing because you agreed with him and all that. It's good.
I promise you.
I'll be the first to say,
this is me and Pauline's first time ever talk.
I am going off the reports.
It's always gonna be 50-50, right? I just happen to be one of the 50 on the other side.
That is our man, Olden Polynice. Great stuff as always.
He is a true contrarian, if I said so myself. All right, well, that was awful. That was terrible. I hated that. That was not fun. Well, with all the suffering that I've gone through, if you guys want to support, it will mean a lot to me. And maybe it will hurt, or not hurt. Well, my brain is hurt right now. Maybe it'll help my brain a little bit. But if you go to clanthemerchfan.com, get yourself some merch. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the love, guys. I'll get with you later. Till next time. Bye.